Welcome to Destination Central. I'm Aimee and today I am on location at the Balloons Over Waikato Festival. Now I'm very excited to be sharing this event with you as it's been brought to the Hamilton residents for the past 14 years and voted Best Waikato event 6 times. So we know that tonight is going to be nothing short of amazing. Now as you can see, we've got an empty paddock behind me. That's because we've arrived bright and early to have a chat to the people behind the event. Now the event has been run over the last few days over 2 locations, the Innes Common at Hamilton Lake and the University of Waikato. So tonight we're at the university for the spectacular night glow. But first, let's see if we can find some people behind the event. Well, as you can see from the setup behind me, this is a massive event and it wouldn't be possible without those important leaders running the show. So first of all, we're going to have a chat with the Managing Director, Michelle, to find out about the behind the scenes of it all. So Michelle, what an exciting week. So how did it all begin 14 years ago?
Well, the ballooning event had been around for a little while and then went through some tough times. So at that stage it was the Chamber of Commerce decided that they did not want Hamilton to lose it, so they formed a trust. And from then on the trust has been the governing body that's looked after the event, and it's just continued to evolve from there.
And you talked about it growing over the years, so how has it changed?
I think the night glow's evolved. It's become now a huge big event that is a 5-hour event, and we incorporate entertainment and bring the families down. And the fact that it's free, it's now one of New Zealand's last large-scale free events. And because of that, there's not a lot of entertainment you can get for free these days. The special shapes are also a big part of it. We invest heavily in bringing 3 to 4 different special shapes every year, and they're the stars of the show. So the crowd loves them, and I think we just try and keep the wow factor every year, and it continues to grow.
Okay, so what can we expect to see for tonight's event?
Well, we've started. It's 4 o'clock, so we as part of the university's 50th birthday, we're celebrating the last 5 decades of music. So there's going to be music from the bands playing the 60s, the 70s, the 80s and 90s and today. So that'll be really great. And then of course there's an aerobatic display, and there's lots of food, rides, carnival, and then of course the glow show at 8 o'clock, followed by our biggest fireworks display to date.
Now Michelle, I know you've been extremely busy running around, so what is your role involved today?
Pulling it all together really, and throughout the year my role, because we're a not-for-profit, my role is about securing grants and sponsorship, because we're now a $900,000 event to run this event, so that is a big part of what I do. And then obviously the logistics around this 5-day event. We've basically got 2 events every single day for 5 days, and the night glow in itself stands out on its own.
Yeah. So it is amazing that the event is free. So how do you maintain that event staying free?
It's a mantra of our trust actually, that we always will be a free event. So we are fortunate to have sponsorship and grants because we're free and because we're such a community event. So we've got some fantastic strategic partners and sponsors on board.
Now I hear that you had the Balloons Over Hobbiton event last weekend, so how did it go? Was it magical?
Oh, it was amazing, and the idea was born out of 2 fantastic Waikato iconic attractions becoming one, and it was just brilliant, and it was fantastic to work with the people at Hobbiton, and it was the first time that Hobbiton had actually been lit at night, so it was a really fantastic night, so something that we might like to talk to them about doing again.
Okay, now heading back to tonight's event, now it's very centred around the weather, isn't it? So how's that been going?
We're totally weather dependent, and we have had a couple of challenging mornings, because the first day we had too much wind, even though it was fine, and the second morning we were challenged with fog, but though they did fly. Friday morning, but today's been beautiful. We had a magnificent flying this morning, and I think tomorrow's going to be great as well. So it is difficult with such a weather dependent event, but overall it's been great, and it's great weather for a night glow tonight too.
And how many people do you expect to attend tonight?
Well, with being such a beautiful day and a wonderful forecast, probably around that 70 to 80,000 that we normally get. I imagine we've already got a lot of people pouring in already.
Thanks Michelle. Now we're going to talk to one of those sponsors later on in the show, but next we're going to have a chat to the very busy flight director. So we've just met Michelle, who manages things on the ground, and now we're about to meet the man who manages things up in the air, Flight Director Martin Stacey. So Martin, tell me, what does your role involve tonight?
I'm what they call the Flight Director or Balloon Meister. I'm responsible for everything the balloon does, from when it takes off, flies through the air till it lands, controlling the airspace, making sure the flight's safe, the balloonists have a task that's challenging them and they enjoy it, and solving basically any problems that they have. So it's a huge tasking, if you like, to make the whole event work, because that's what it is. It's all about balloons flying.
Wow, sounds like a high pressure job.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. You get the same silly questions from people, but hey, we're here to solve the problems, and as I said, make it challenging so people want to come back, make it spectacular for the people to see, so it encourages people to be part of the event, and draw people to this marvellous place you've got here in the Waikato. So it's all about that.
Okay, so how did you get into such a career?
Well, before flight directing, I'm a passionate balloonist. Ballooning is what I love to do. It's a magical sky experience. It's three-dimensional sailing, and from getting those skills and developing that into going into competitions, world championships, national championships, and then from there I've come to this balloon fiesta for about 20 years. So the logical thing was to challenge myself and go from flying the balloon to try and give the people competitions to achieve and running it, and I found that is a huge challenge.
And you mentioned that you are a pilot, so what qualifications did you need to gain for this career?
I'm actually a commercial pilot. I run my own balloon business in Methven in Christchurch, in Mount Hutt, and so I've got a commercial pilot's license, got all those qualifications. But it comes from ballooning is experience, experience and experience. No one balloon ride is ever the same. We fly with the wind, and whatever the wind is doing is whatever the balloon's doing. So you have to get all those skill sets up and recognising the wind, recognising how you fly to land in those conditions.
Okay, so we can trust that everyone will be safe this evening. So you've also worked on a few events around the country?
I've done the Wairarapa Balloon Fiesta, which is a very small country event. It's very much by pilots for pilots, and I love doing that as well. It's just gets all the grassroots. We're nurturing our balloonists to come through. Most of our balloonists in New Zealand are families. You've got mum and dad or grandfather coming up with granddaughter and sons and daughters flying. So we have. It's self-perpetuating, hopefully, and what we want to do is have a safe environment. We have one rule in ballooning: I'd rather be on the ground wishing I'm in the air than in the air wishing I'm on the ground. As long as you keep that going through your head, you have a safe environment.
Okay, so what can we look forward to for tonight's event?
Well, hopefully we'll have a spectacular night glow. We've got 4 special shapes here. We've got the hummingbird, we've got the angry bird, which is a fantastically glowing red balloon. We've got the rocket man, and the birthday cake, because of course we're celebrating 150 years here. So and then we've got all the other balloons in between, and we've got a thing that's quite unique to this here. We have what we call a basket burn, or the Americans call it a candle burn, where we've put actual baskets out amongst the public, and we have the burners going there, and they can experience the flame and the heat, and it should be quite a spectacular event.
Great, thank you very much, Martin. All the best for tonight. Well, the crowds are starting to fill up, as well as the balloons behind me, so tune in after the break as we take a look at some more of Balloons over Waikato. Well, with me now is one of the pilots from the week's event, Jeremy. So now, Jeremy, tell me, how have you been involved and what sort of things have you been up to this week?
So I've been flying I've actually been flying the Flight Director's balloon this week. It's been loaned to me for the week. We started on Wednesday morning, did the first flight there, where we flew one of the sponsors, and ever since then I've been trying to fly our crew and work through on the morning flights that we've been getting, so flying different members. Yesterday I flew my daughter, and this morning I flew my wife, and hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be able to fly my son on the final flight, so we should get all the way through the family.
Awesome, so they all get a turn, no one's getting missed out.
Hope not.
And so you've got qualifications, so what does the qualifications entail?
So I got a UK pilot's license, and that means doing things, it's about 20 hours of flying. You have 5 written exams to do, you have a medical to do, you have a solo flight to do, you have an examiner flight, and you have to do a tethered flight as well.
Wonderful. Now, I see that you've got a key in your hand, and I hear that you've won a prize. So tell me a bit about this.
So this morning we had the Smart Track cash grab competition, and what they do is they task us to take off quite a long way away from the pole usually, It varies in distance, and the idea is to fly into the pole, and the pole is suspended about, the top of the pole is about 12 feet off the ground, and we have to try and fly in and grab this key off the top of the pole as we go past it, and then you fly on, and then you have to land and then try and get the key back to the flight director within 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's incredibly difficult. We know it hasn't been won in the last decade, but we don't know quite when the last time it was won. So yeah, today's it's quite a memorable day. $1,000 for catching it as well. So
It sounds a bit risky. Was it a bit scary or?
no, it's just lots of fun.
Yeah. And so what did you win?
So I won $1,000.
Nice.
So yeah, it all goes to help.
Awesome. And now in the event tonight, you're not flying a balloon, but you're doing a flame. Something with a flame.
It's called a basket burn.
Okay.
Some people call them candle burns, and basically there'll be quite a few balloons that are all going to be inflating with the what's called the envelope, the main part of the fabric. Whereas some of us will just be out in the crowd with just our baskets and just making what look like candles in the crowd in the night.
Wow. Well, I definitely can't wait for the event tonight. And so part of the event as well, so you've been taking people up on flights, so have you been taking anyone up or?
So I've only got space for one person in my basket.
Okay.
So because I only do this for fun, I don't. I have a real job.
Yeah.
So on the first morning we fly our sponsors. So we have a number of sponsors that help to make this event happen, and so I have to try. We will take a few passengers at various times during the first or second morning, and try and get our way through as many as we can.
And is this the first time that you've been part of Balloons Over Waikato? Or?
No, this is my 7th year.
7th year. And have you seen it grow over the years?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, there's been loads of changes. If I look back to the first year and this year, you'd almost believe they're different events. It's great that they mix it up, put lots of variety in, and it's a well-run professional event.
Great, thank you very much, Jeremy. Now, I hear that you've got the whole family involved in the week's event.
Absolutely.
So, should we go and have a chat to them?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'm now with Jeremy's family, and they're quite involved with the event. So, Toby, tell me how you have been roped into the event as well.
Well, mainly I'm just laying out the balloon, pulling on the sides of the balloon called the tape, just setting it up mainly and packing it away.
Awesome. So, you've been well trained then?
Yeah.
That's a good start. And now you're hoping to go up in the balloon tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and have you been up? You've obviously been up quite a few times.
A few times before.
Yeah, and you enjoy it?
Very much.
Very good. And we've got Jeremy's daughter over here as well, and you got to go up at the last week as well, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so whereabouts was that, from the Innis Common?
Yeah.
Yeah, and whereabouts did you go to?
It was near a estate, near the racecourse. Yeah, just close to there.
Cool. And how were the views?
It was amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
Just, yeah.
Now, Jeremy's wife, we've got Jeremy's wife here, so you must be pretty supportive of this hobby.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And so how do you find, is it long hours and training? And
Oh, it's early mornings, but yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. Wonderful. And one of the crew members as well, so what's your job been here for the week?
Mostly just crown line and helping with the setup.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, I might get a flight in, but
So you're a trainee pilot, is that right?
yes. Yeah.
So how long have you been training, and what's next for you?
It's been a little while now, just slow and steady at this rate, but I think eventually I'd like to get my own balloon, maybe a few years down the track.
Yeah. Are they quite expensive?
Yeah, not cheap.
All right, we'll start saving, and good luck for that one. Cheers. Now, as we heard from Martin, the theme of tonight's event is music over the last 5 decades. Now, we're going to have a chat to the Vice-Chancellor of the Waikato University, Professor Roy Crawford. Now, Roy, it's lovely to meet you. So tell me, I hear that the university have something else to celebrate alongside the Balloons Over Waikato.
Well, we're delighted to be part of the Balloons this year because this is our 50th anniversary. In 1964, the university was created on this very site when it was just fields and paddocks and a cowshed. There were no trees, there were no buildings at that time, and the university has obviously come a very long way to be probably what is the most attractive campus in New Zealand now for a university.
Now, the theme of tonight's event is 5 decades of music. Is this relating to the university with their 5 years of existence?
Well, certainly during those 5 decades, the university has transformed itself. In the very early days and the first few years when we had only 19 graduates, and over those 5 decades that you refer to, we now have 90,000 graduates. And the number of subjects that we offer has changed over the years, obviously. And we've also had a tremendous loyalty from the staff. Many staff have stayed with the university right from the very beginning. And during this year, when we have anniversary celebration events, we've got graduates who come back and remember fondly the halls of residence from those very early days.
And are you celebrating in any other way for the university's big 50th milestone?
Well, during this year, we've got a whole range of events. For example, about a month ago, we had a book which was celebrating the 50 years of the university. We had a celebration event for that when we had the former vice-chancellors and chancellors and former staff and students came back to celebrate that. Then about 2 weeks ago, we had the Prime Minister on campus to unveil a plaque celebrating the 50th anniversary. And that plaque will be put on a time capsule where we will enclose a whole range of memorabilia from this year and over the years, and that will be opened in 50 years' time when we're celebrating our first century.
Now, how long have the university been part of the Balloons Over Waikato event?
Well, we've been involved for quite a number of years, originally when it was in the lake, in the city centre, and I think it's now 5 or 6 years that it has been on our campus. We're delighted to have it here because since the university was formed, it was very much a community university for the community. The university is now involved with field days, we're involved with the Arts Festival, we're involved with the Avanti Drome, and now of course the balloons also. Because we want the community to use this campus just as they would the Hamilton Gardens, for example. And we don't have any fences around the campus because we want people to come in and walk the dog or jog or do some running or whatever. And it's great to see thousands and thousands of people here tonight using the campus.
And what do you look forward to most about tonight's event?
Well, for me, it's seeing the young kids and the sparkle in their eyes when they see the balloons and all the fun rides and all those events. And it gets them comfortable being on a university campus. And we hope, of course, perhaps in 10 years, 15 years' time, that they will come to this university. So for me, that is the excitement for the evening.
Great, thank you very much. Well, as you can see, the crowds are in full swing enjoying all of the entertainment that's on offer. Join us after the break as we find out more of Balloons Over Waikato. Now, as this is one of the biggest hot air balloon events throughout Australasia, I was quite pleasantly surprised to find out that this is a free event. So we're going to have a chat now with one of those sponsors ensuring that it remains a free event, Mark from ASB. Now, Mark, tell me, what are your thoughts on this week's event?
Absolutely outstanding. It's been a fantastic event. It always is. You know, we've been involved about 10 years now. And weather permitting, you can get the balloons up in the sky, which is cool. And that's part of the attraction of being part of the balloons. So it's an iconic event, which we're really keen to be sponsors of.
And how involved are ASB with the Weeks Festival?
We're totally involved. We're part of the board. Invite us to be part of their team. So we talk as a sponsor about what we expect, what we would like. We've got a lot of clients here tonight who are high value customers who come here and they want to be entertained. So we're heavily involved right from the start every year. It's not just a matter of us putting money towards this, it's about us being part of making sure the community gets a real good feel. So it's great.
Yeah, so why do you think it's important to support such an event?
Well, this is a community event. It's very rare to have a corporate that provides a community event for families, and therefore this is iconic to us that we can be a family event. We like to bring the public here. Yes, it's good for our profile, but it's also a really good fun thing to do, and keeping it free is really, really important to us.
Yeah, well, I was quite surprised to find out that this was a free event. So why do you think it's important to keep it as a free event?
It brings a lot of people into the region, okay? It's also the fact that people can enjoy themselves. It's nice to have the families come here on a beautiful night like tonight, really not have to worry about finding extra money to get what will be a fantastic event. They always are, and they'll get a free light show, free fireworks, and hot dogs, whatever they want, so it'll be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So how many years has ASB been part of the event, and will you carry on to support?
Yeah, we've been involved for about 10 years. So, yeah, the sponsorship's up for renewal. Not my decision to continue, but hopefully we will. So there'll be a discussion that as a bank we have after this event. But every year the event gets better and better. So I'm really keen as a regional manager locally to keep it. So we'll see what our head office do for us in the long run.
Yeah, so how have you seen the event grow over the years?
Absolutely massive. I suppose the first couple of years there were maybe about 20 balloons, maybe 10,000 people would turn up. Yeah, we've been up to 80,000 people at some events, 32 balloons. We have a lot of international balloonists who want to come here as part of the event. And yeah, it's just grown massively.
And Mark, what have been your highlights over the week?
The highlight is coming here. So school hop, going to the schools, seeing the kids' faces when we take a balloon into their paddocks and they can jump in the basket and see the balloon and have a little rise in it. That's a huge highlight for us. The other thing is coming here, watching the night glow, watching the kids tonight. They're getting hyped up now. They're getting more and more excited. So when it gets darker and the night glow happens and then the fireworks, yeah, that's special.
Great, thank you very much. What an incredible evening, and as you can see behind me there are thousands of people finding their seats for this spectacular show. So I've got to go and find my seat, but I'll leave you to enjoy the 2014 Balloons over Waikato.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.